So today I'm going to be doing my updated foundation routine. So this is my current foundation routine that I have been really happy with. I've had a lot of compliments in real life on like my overall like makeup, my skin. So I'm going to go ahead and share my tips with you on how to cover wrinkles, how to minimize pores, how to keep your makeup lasting all day long without budging, without moving, without anything. So just for kind of reference, I have oily, acne prone, aging, which means I have fine lines and wrinkles, I have kind of large pores, I have pigmentation problems, I have a little bit of breakouts right now, and I have a dry rash around my face. Lucky me. This is going to be something that is a full coverage, very flawless finish, just kind of like, I don't know, I feel like when we're searching for YouTube videos for a foundation, what do we search for? Flawless, long-lasting, but skin-like, full coverage foundation routine. This is what it is. This is what works for me. If you feel like this is too much foundation for you, too much powder, too much everything, maybe you're more of a lightweight girl as far as foundation goes, this is probably not going to be the foundation routine for you, because this is a full-on, full coverage, like full glam foundation routine. When you're watching, if it looks like I'm putting 8 pounds of powder on, it does look like that. However, if you do it the right way, you use the right brushes, you use the right products, and you take your time to really buff it in and work the product into your skin, it will not look like that in real life. Like, you will look just flawless and beautiful, and like, it doesn't look powdery in any way, because I cannot stand a powdery looking face. To me, it just makes you look older and just unhealthy, and that is not what you want to go for. So make sure that you find the right products. These are the products that work for me. They are definitely pricey. This is not a drugstore foundation routine. This is not an affordable drugstore routine, or sorry, affordable foundation routine. Is very expensive, but these are the products that work best for my skin type, for my skin concerns, and for my overall like appearance of how I want to look. I hope you guys find this helpful. I hope you guys enjoy and get some tips from it. This is my favorite part of my makeup, is my base. I feel like you can do anything with your eyes and really anything with your lips as long as your base is good. If you have a good foundation base, a good highlight, a good blush, you can pretty much do anything. You can just stick on mascara and a little bit of lip gloss and you're good to go. Let's get on to the tutorial. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up if you did find it helpful, if you did enjoy it. Share it if you know someone who needs to know some of these tips. Maybe they're struggling with their foundation settling into their fine lines and wrinkles. Share it. Sharing is caring. And also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Just click that little subscribe button and then you'll get notified. Thank you guys. Enjoy. Bye. Mwah. Happy New Year. I like my ears. So the first thing, by the way, I don't know where I got this. I got it in some kind of box or something. Or maybe it was, I cannot remember, but aren't they cute? It's like the best makeup headband ever. Okay, so lately I have not been wearing a primer. The reason is because my favorite primer, which is the Joe Anti-Blemish Matte Primer, it kind of bothers my kind of like dry rash that I'm still dealing with. And so I've stopped wearing it. And honestly, with this combo, I haven't noticed a difference in the way my foundation wears. So it's kind of like, hey, if it doesn't make a difference, why bother? So I tried the Luminous Silk Foundation from Giorgio Armani alone, and it wasn't enough coverage for me. I didn't like the way that my skin looked. It was nice, but it wasn't, like, I'm so used to Estee Lauder Double Wear that it just wasn't enough. So I was like, I wonder what happens when I mix it. And together, these two are amazing. So I basically do equal parts. 3 pumps of the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. This is the color 5.5. And then I do the exact same amount of the 3W1 Tawny from Estee Lauder. This is the Double Wear. This is very like kind of luminous and skin-like, and this is very full coverage. So together they create this most beautiful full coverage skin-like foundation. So I just do 1, 2, 3 squirts of that, and then I just basically, I don't have a pump for the Estee Lauder, so I just kind of like match up the amount. It looks like that. And you can see the colors are slightly different. So the 5.5 definitely has a kind of more neutral undertone, whereas the Double Wear has a little bit more, or the Tawny has a little bit more of a yellow. So mixing them together just creates like a really great color for me when I'm self-tanned. So basically I get my little beauty blender. This is from SL Miss Glam. It's honestly, I love it so much. It's my new favorite way to apply foundation. It's so big and bouncy. It's amazing. So I just dip it in and you can see right away how the coverage is just like perfection. But it's not heavy. Like, it's not like this super heavy, thick, cakey coverage. It really does look like, see how it has that kind of glow to it? It's just so beautiful with the Luminous Silk, because I really do like the Estee Lauder and I've worn it alone for a long time. But occasionally there was times where, like, as the day would go on, even though it's still in the exact same place, it would just look a little heavy in some points on my face where I had more texture. So this way it just looks like it gives you a little bit of a glow. It's just very healthy looking. By putting the Estee Lauder in there with the Giorgio Armani, you get the full coverage, because I feel like if you have beautiful skin already, like if you don't have a whole lot to cover, then you would like the Giorgio Armani. But for me, it just wasn't quite enough coverage. I really just wanted to step up the coverage of the Giorgio Armani by mixing it with the Luminous, or sorry, with the Double Wear. And then just whatever is left on my hand, I put on my forehead. Okay, so as you can see, it has given me full coverage, but do you see that glow? That's from the Luminous Silk. It looks so beautiful on the skin. And the Estee Lauder gives you the full coverage that you need. So it's just such a beautiful combination. It doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It's just really amazing. I love it. Next, I use my Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Concealer. This is in the color Light. I love this. I will probably never ever switch out because it's affordable. It does not get into your lines and wrinkles. And it brightens up underneath your eyes really, really well. If you are oily, I get really oily in that section of my face, but I don't anymore because of this concealer. When I used to use the NARS Creamy, I was really greasy and it would make my pores look really bad. So with this, I never have that problem. Everything is always looking super duper fresh, and it covers like every kind of darkness that I need. Like, it just gives me a really nice bright effect. Can't get cakey with this. So I just bring it up like that so that it's nice and bright underneath there. And I've just been using this side of the Beauty Blender as well. I'll link everything that I'm using down below. But honestly, guys, it is such a great Beauty Blender. I love the Beauty Blender as well. Don't get me wrong. I used that for years and I was very happy with it. But this to me is just a little bit bigger and a little bit bouncier. And so I feel like it's a little quicker. It gets my makeup done faster. And I like the fact that, like, because it's so bouncy, I can use the concealer on the big side and I never have any problems. Like, it's really great. I love it. You guys should definitely get it. I think it's like 17 bucks. I'm going to take my NARS. This is the Translucent Crystal Light Reflecting Setting Powder. I like the loose one. For me, it just does the best job. The reason I use this is because this is a line filler and a pore filler. So this is going to help fill in any wrinkles, any pores, lines, texture. If you have a lot of acne scarring, it kind of helps to kind of blend that and minimize that as well. It is translucent, so you don't have to worry about giving a color or anything. It will cause a white cast. So if you are going to be using flash photography at night, if it's dark, maybe you're inside at a party, be careful, because it can cause, if you apply too much of it, like if you bake with this, you will have a white cast. With this, for me, when I do it with the brush, I don't notice a terrible amount. You can definitely tell there's a brightness to there, but when you bake with it, you will definitely have like a harsh line. And then I do this underneath the eye as well. Again, this is going to fill in all of your pores, especially for me. That's where my pores are the biggest. It's like right underneath my eyes, like by the side of my nose. So you're just going to press that, and then I also have acne scarring, so I just basically bring it down, whatever's left on my brush. I don't put a whole lot on my cheeks. I just kind of like bring whatever is left on my brush down. This is, for me, the most important step if you have wrinkles, because you do have to take your time. You really do have to work it in and make sure that you're getting like all of those filled in, but you will see the difference, trust me. If you have wrinkles, if you're struggling with smile lines, forehead wrinkles, pores, under eye lines, do this and you will see a huge difference in your makeup. So next, I'm taking the Ben Nye Super White Professional Powder. I get a little bit into my cap and I just tap it off. The brush that I'm using is the MB23 from Morphe. I love this brush for this specific reason, or for this specific powder, because it's very soft and you can just buff in that white powder. And I basically do this just to kind of brighten. This also kind of makes it look really smooth under here. Even though I'm using so many different types of powder, because I'm brushing them in and I'm really buffing it in, it doesn't look heavy on the face at all. And this will literally make your makeup last all day long. You will not have any movement. It stays exactly how it is. And then I just kind of bring it out into a triangle. It really does just make your eyes look really bright and awake. The next thing that I do is I go to my Giorgio Armani. I know this looks like a lot of powders, guys. I swear to God, in real life, it looks amazing. The trick is to just apply small amounts and really work it into the skin. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Compact. This is so beautiful. You can see I have hip pan. It's skin-like. It's very, very lightweight on the skin. It does not look like powder, but it gives you coverage. It kind of adds a little bit of extra coverage to your foundation. If you have any kind of like darkness or maybe like pigmentation, it'll kind of just like make everything look flawless. I like to use the Too Faced powder brush. It's just a nice big powder brush. The color that I have is number 2 for this powder. Even though I self-tan, I feel like this is a great color because it's almost like translucent. Like, I feel like it just kind of blends into the skin. So I just tap my brush and then I basically start just pressing. It's not a whole lot of product. It's a very minimal amount. And I'm basically just blending in that white powder into the kind of skin toned powder. For my bronzer, I use the Too Faced Sweethearts bronzer. I love this. You can see I've made a big dent in it. I try to get this side, but the brush makes a little edge right there, so it looks like I'm using that side mainly, but I mean, technically it is on the brush, but I really try to focus on this side. This is a Morphe E3. This is my favorite way to kind of bronze, contour. This does have a bit of a sheen to it, so if you're looking for something matte, this would not be the one. However, I feel like with my skin, especially with texture and kind of the scarring that I have, it looks more flawless and kind of blended when I use something with a tiny bit of a sheen. Nothing super duper shimmery. You don't want like big chunks to like emphasize the issues that you have going on, but if you have something that just has a bit of a glow, it just seems to like kind of flawlessly go in, whereas I feel like matte sometimes can be a little bit harder to blend. Sometimes it looks a little bit like muddy or just kind of harsh. I get the sides of my head, the top of my forehead. This is nice too because it kind of gives you a little bit of your glow back once you've taken it away from all of the powder. But the powder is very necessary to keep your foundation in place. So you'll have a glow, then you'll take away your glow, and then you'll get your glow back. It's like Stella gets her groove on. It's like Sam gets her glow back. That's what it's like. And lately in life, like in real life, I've been getting a lot of compliments on my like skin and foundation and everything. So I think sometimes a lot of the time people think, oh, well, it's probably just like on screen that it looks good, because obviously on camera your skin does look a lot better because the lights and everything. But in real life, when you get a compliment on your foundation or your skin, normally it's not even foundation, it's just like, oh my god, your skin looks so beautiful, or wow, you look really young. That's when you know it's doing good. So I do a little bit more on my chin to kind of emphasize that point. Then I go over my lips to kind of give it a little bit of a, ooh, it's sticking out more. And then I do the sides of my nose. I'm still using my Ittse blush. This is mine. I'm like getting the crumbs from the edge. This is Sunset Beach. It's still available in the holiday collection, I believe. There's only a few left. So if you guys still haven't gotten this and you want it, it's a really gorgeous coral blush. It has a little bit of a pinky kind of sheen to it, so you will have a bit of a glow. It's really gorgeous. I feel like you can wear it any time of year. I mean, I made it specifically for the summer, but honestly, I wear it all the time. It's just so beautiful. This is the Morphe M509. I love this blush and this brush together because this brush really brings out the glow, but it melts it into the skin without it being too shimmery. So this is when you're gonna bake See how this looks a little bit like, nah, it could be better. That's how you're gonna fix it. Now, I have used it with this before, the NARS, that's fine. It looks absolutely beautiful. For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna use this just because this does give you major flashback situation, like full on line if you do it with a baking situation. So when I don't want that situation, then I use the La Mer, the powder. This is really beautiful for baking. I basically create a line just like that. I kind of like to curve mine just a little bit. To like the corner of my mouth. See? And then it cleans up that line for you. That is the purpose of baking this section of your face, at least, is that if your contour was a little bit woo, then it just blends everything and makes everything look very crisp and very beautiful. Lately, my favorite way to highlight is I first take the Show Gold, sounds like I had a big lisp, Extra Dimension Skin Finish from MAC. This is so beautiful, guys. OMG. So it has this like amazing, it's like, when you look at it, it's like, oh, okay, that's gold. But then you turn it and it's like pink. It gives you this most amazing pinky, like, whoa, crazy opal glow. It's so cool. So I take my Morphe E27. The brush is where it's at. I feel like it's super important to get the right brush, guys. I swirl it in there just like this. And then you got to do the Scott Disick hand. When he checks his watch, it's like the, you know? Then you bring it down. I've lately been doing, it's almost like an ombre effect of highlight. So you start with your blush, then you go with a pinky glow, and then you go on top with your highlight. So it's like in 3 stages, but then you melt them together. And it is the most gorgeous glow that you will ever see in your life. Okay, so you kind of just put that on top of the blush, but then bring it up a little bit. Do you see that? Okay, so that's the first step. This is key to a successful glow. Sometimes that might be too pink for people. So you're like, I don't know if that's too pink. That's why you gotta do the ombre effect. Highlight. Then you go in with Vow. This is Stroboscope Moon Play Cosmetics Vow. It's amazing. I highly recommend you go and order one. They are this finely milled highlight. It is a pink. It looks really pink and you're gonna be like, but watch, when you put it on the skin, again, get that same brush. You're gonna dip it in. This is very sparkly and very shimmery, guys, so make sure that you kind of tap off the excess. Then, you're going to start applying this at the very top so that it just kind of like, it's like a gradient highlighter, and it's just so beautiful. So see how this has a kind of like a pinky silver glow, and it just, boom, like whoa Nelly. Bring it down a little bit. It's just so beautiful. Look at that. Do you guys see the magic? Okay, so we're gonna kind of bring that around, bring it down a little bit. So it takes away from that super intense pink, but then as you move down the face, you get this pinky glow. So it's like a deep pink and then a really like super duper opaly pink, and then you have your highlight. So then I just do the rest, the tip of my nose, and I do this center section just so it kind of like lifts my nose. It makes it a nice little ski jump. I do above the eyebrows because that lifts the eyebrows really, really nicely. Just makes you look a little bit more like, I don't know, youthful. It's like, oh yes, I'm so alive. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face because this was just a foundation routine. But basically that is it. So then I move on to my eyebrows, my eyes, my lips. The last thing I do is buff off my powder, and then I set my face. So we will come back to that. So I'm just gonna finish up because otherwise this video is gonna be like 8 hours long. So then I'll see you in a minute when I'm almost finished. So now we're gonna brush off the bake. So basically you're just gonna take a nice kind of like soft, it's like a powder brush, but maybe more of a, it's just a loose kind of blush slash powder brush. And you're going to basically just kind of like buff it. Just like that. Then we have another step. You're going to go back in with your powder brush. You're not going to dip into powder again. You're just going to get whatever is left on the brush from the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. And you're just kind of soften everything up. Then you're going to get your blush brush and you're just going to kind of refresh anything that might have kind of got diluted from the powder. If you want like an extra super duper duper glow, you're gonna get your big old fan brush from SL Miss Glam. This is the Fan Highlight P30. Look how big that is. You're just gonna dip into the top of the lid of Vow, and you're just gonna kind of very gently just add a little bit more. There we go, just to kind of step it up just a tiny bit. Then you're gonna spray. I've been using the Slay All Day from Gerard Cosmetics. This one is the Cucumber. Just be careful of your eyes. They are quite strongly scented. And you're basically just gonna kind of like, I just try to get the highlight for the most part. And see how it just kind of like brings your highlight to a whole nother level. Kind of just melts all the powders in so that everything is just melted into the skin. That's all you do. Not much at all. I know it seems like a lot of steps. It is. I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying this is not time consuming. It absolutely is. But this is what I have found works the best for me, for my skin type, for my skin problems, and basically if I want to look, well, this is my everyday foundation routine. If you have oily skin, acne prone skin, wrinkles, pigmentation, unevenness, anything that you want to cover and you want it to last literally all day, this will be going strong until I take it off. It will not budge. I hope you guys found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys like my little ear headband. I kind of wish I was like a bear or a mouse or something that had ears. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.